Hello everyone, thanks for tuning in to today's second video. We're doing the external European outlook for today's second video. So as always on Tuesday, we're having a look at the ECMWF 42-day model for a 30-day forecast. It's also a 42-day forecast as well for the whole of Europe, and I shall get on with that for you in a moment. Just say that first. The video already saying was our 6 AM UK weather forecast, and we've got 10 to 14 there with all of red features coming up for you later on this afternoon as well. Please like, share and subscribe on all of today's videos and content, and thank you so much everyone for doing that. Thank you so much to ecmwf.int for supplying the charts as well, by the way. Thank you so much, EC. Right, going to start off with the week 1 mean sea level pressure anomaly then for Europe. It's taking us through the week we're currently in, 28th of August, 4th of September. Quite a bit of low pressure around across northern and western parts of Europe. Some higher pressure is out into the Atlantic and over towards the far eastern side of the Mediterranean. But otherwise, it looks like there's quite a bit of low pressure around in the weekend. The 500 millibar height anomaly shows a trough of below average heights through the north and the west of Europe. A ridge is in the far east and northeast of Europe and out into the Atlantic as well. So western Europe looking rather cool and unsettled. The far east and northeast of Europe looking rather more anticyclonic and high pressure dominated. Right, so temperature anomalies for this week show that the warmest weather is actually over in the far eastern portion of Europe, from the Black Sea and the Ukraine all the way up to far northeast of Europe and into the northwest of Russia. So these temperatures at their core, the highest temperatures are like 3 to 6 degrees above average. More widely, we're 1 to 3 degree above average here across much of northern and northeastern Europe. Now, out west, it's significantly cooler, so anywhere from like Denmark and the UK southwards coming out with below average temperatures, particularly through Germany into the far west of Poland, and back to low countries as well, into France and down Spain, Portugal, and much of the central bowl of the Med, actually, from Spain all the way to Italy, looking cooler than average. So a cool week coming in the west, warmer in the east. We have got islands standing out as being a little bit warmer than average, though. And as far as precipitation is concerned, it looks like it's quite unsettled in most areas, as you expect with low pressure in control. So the extreme east of Europe again is looking relatively dry, particularly from the Black Sea into the east part of Ukraine up into Russia. Now to the west of that, I think this is going to be like thundery stuff here with the high temperatures and humidity triggering thunderstorms through the east and the northeast of Europe. It also looks quite wet. Let's come down to the Balkans and in towards Italy and across southern parts of Germany as well. Spain, Portugal, above average rainfall through there. So some much needed and very useful rains potentially to come there for Spain, Portugal, and into the Mediterranean after it's been so very hot through this summer. Looks like we have got some cooling rains there in the weekend. So wet weather just getting to southern parts of England, but further northwards through northern Britain and into Ireland, looking generally drier than normal, and drier than normal towards southern parts of Norway and Sweden as well. Right, week 2 will be the 4th to the 11th of September. So some weak high pressure in the Atlantic. Is that going to be extending through here? Low pressure up towards Greenland and Iceland, and lower pressure covering many parts of Europe as well, seemingly. It's a strange looking anomaly though. Now the 500 millibar height is looking much more anticyclonic there for western and also for northern parts of Europe. Low pressure again towards Greenland and Iceland and down towards Spain and Portugal too. Temperature anomalies are warming up significantly in most areas there for the second week. So it'll be on the cool average side for Spain and Portugal, and you know, into the Mediterranean as well potentially. But otherwise, it was generally quite warm, above average, out to the west of the UK and Ireland, just like a little bit above normal. France, Germany, Poland, like 1 to 3 degrees above average, and the core of the warmth still really up there in the far north and northeast Europe and into the northwest of Russia, where we go 3 to 6 degrees above average. Widely above average temperatures really most places except down towards the far southwestern portion of Europe. Precipitation looks like that, so turning drier through the UK and Ireland. High pressure building in from off the Atlantic that extends towards Denmark and toward the Baltic Sea as well. Southern parts of Norway and Sweden included in that also. Might extend as far eastwards of the Baltic Sea states, Latvia, Estonia, and Lithuania as well. But further northwards, it looks a little bit wetter heading into towards northern parts of Norway and Sweden. But proper wet weather is down towards the southwest again. So again, above average rainfall through Spain, Portugal, and into southern parts of France, where it's been so incredibly hot and dry through the middle to latter stages of the summer. There again we see some cooling rains. Drier through into Italy and the central part of the Med, and then wetter as we come over to the eastern side of the Med towards Greece and Turkey, and extending up towards the Black Sea as well. Week 3 will be the 11th to the 18th of September, with a strong anticyclonic signal here in the Atlantic and into much of northern and also western Europe. Low pressure is down into the south, so strong anticyclonic signals there in most parts of Europe. 500 millibar height shown again. A big area of above average heights through the Atlantic into northern and also central and western parts of Europe as well. Temperature anomalies are warmer than average, so a very warm September to come if this is right through most parts of Europe. So all the way from Ireland and Portugal in the west, right way over to the Black Sea, and west of Russia in the east, and all points in between coming out with above average temperatures. Just a little bit cooler again, maybe down towards the Mediterranean. Precipitation-wise, still looking very dry across much of northern and also western Europe as well. So dry than average in a sway from the UK and Ireland all the way up to the Baltic Sea states. Wetter though down towards Spain and in towards North Africa as well, and over towards the eastern side of the Mediterranean. Otherwise, it is a weakening signal. Week 4 will be the 18th to 25th of September. High pressure goes north then, so maybe starting to turn a little bit more unsettled, particularly through, like, France, anyway, in Germany and whatnot. We might be starting to see some lower pressure starting to push in towards the western side of Europe. Higher pressure slipping up towards western parts of Russia as well. 500 millibar heights look like that. So generally the high pressure is just lifting northwards there in the 4th week. So this could be starting to turn a little bit more unsettled. Not a particularly unsettled still, but it might be starting to turn a little bit more unsettled there into week 4. Above average temperature still, coming down a bit though through western parts of Europe anyway, so only slightly above normal, average slightly above. The warmest weather actually is over on the eastern side of Europe again. That's where the warmest anomalies to average are. Coastal average through France, much of France, into the Low Countries, Spain, Portugal as well, near normal. And precipitation-wise looks like that. So it looks really quite wet down across southern parts of Europe. Prolonged wet spell there through Spain and into the Med over towards Italy, but maybe hints of being a bit more unsettled close to the UK, towards Germany, Denmark, southern parts of Sweden and Norway. You know, just a bit of a hint, but things might be turning more unsettled generally across Europe actually as we go into the 4th week. But it's 4 weeks away, so it's a very, very long way out. Right, that's your 30-day look ahead done, but let's look at weeks 5 and 6 before we go. So week 5 is the 25th of September, 2nd of October. Some blocking around Greenland and Iceland, potentially. Lower pressure through here. How's the 500 millibar heights looking? Still be above average heights really across much of the North Atlantic and into Northern Europe. A little bit further southwards again, actually. Above average temperatures across most parts of Europe, and precipitation, though very weak still by now, looks quite wet still though across the far south of Europe, dry potentially up in the north. And then week 6 will be the 2nd to the 9th of October. So just generally lower pressure appearing there as we go through the first week of October. 500 millibar heights showing above average heights towards Greenland, Iceland, and in the far east of Europe, possibly some lower pressure through here. Temperature anomalies are about average to ever so slightly above, particularly for northern, eastern Europe, and precipitation. Really weak signal, but possibly a bit on the wetter side. Okay, so we've got a clear trend here for the first half of September to bring lots of dry and warm weather to many parts of Europe. There may be an indication for things to start turning a bit cooler and more unsettled, particularly for the western part of Europe as we go into the second half of September. Eastern regions probably staying relatively dry and quite warm. It does look as though southern Europe, though, is going to be the exception to this. So down into the Med, like Spain, where it has been so incredibly hot and dry. It looks like there we will get some much needed and useful rain as we go through the first half of September. So some cooling rains there. Otherwise, a bit of a late summer surge of dry, warm, high pressure weather for the first half of September anyway. Right, maybe it's just a snapshot of what Molly's shown, so it could look completely different when we look at this again on Saturday morning. That'll be for a UK and Ireland focus, or next Tuesday for the wider extended European outlook. If you enjoyed the video, please do like, share, and subscribe, and we'll be back a little bit later on into this afternoon, 10 to 14 there. But for this one, that's all for now, and thanks for watching.